All right, guys, let's talk about the Sixers. It's just not going to happen this year, man. They're 15 games below 500. Sure, they can make the play-in, but so what? All you're doing is setting yourself up for either a Celtics or Cavs round one matchup. And if you saw last night's game against the Celtics, I mean, my lasting image of that game is Peyton Pritchard just finding all types of ways to get open on or off the ball. And then the Celtics putting Embiid in a bunch of actions because they're just spaced out. So he's got to rotate somewhere. Then somebody's got to make up for it. And it's just spacing and shooting because that's what the Celtics do. And on the other end, you got, sometimes Drew on Embiid and Porzingis as a help guy, or occasionally Tatum or Jalen is on Embiid and they're bringing doubles. And the Celtics just looked so much better than Philly. The execution, the energy, all of it. And then after the game, there was a thing that has been posted by, Derek Bodner, who's a Philly reporter, and, it's gone on Bleacher Report, whoever. It's basically Embiid, I'm going to paraphrase here, but it's basically him saying he's not 100%. And while I haven't been able to find anything that specifically says he needs surgery, there's a lot of maybes right now, if you will. And usually this is not my thing, but I think it's time to punt on the season. I think you shut Embiid down, you probably end up shutting PG down. What are we waiting for, man? Now, as I say that, could Embiid still rattle off 20-something point games if he does play more games the rest of the season? I mean, yeah, of course. He dropped 20 in 4 straight games here. They've also lost 4 in a row with him playing, and the one they won against Dallas, they won by 2. And within that little stretch, he still missed 2 games. I mean, it's just not going to happen this season. And also, by the way, their pick is top 6 protected. If they decided tomorrow, let's punt on the season, there's actually a chance they could keep their pick, okay? Now, that's not a guarantee. And I understand it's a possibility that you could tank the rest of the year and still not get the pick and look very stupid and get laughed at on Twitter. But the alternative is what's happening right now, which just feels like you're doing nothing, except putting more miles on PG and Embiid. Your star player is clearly not okay. And if it's not a surgery, then at the least it's extended time off. And I understand that this is probably just going to be the way Embiid's career is for the rest of it here, just hopefully not as bad as this season. But you just got to deal with that. And yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Embiid, but it would be cool to see him fully healthy for a whole playoff run. And you're 15 games below 500. I just think the writing is on the wall here. And then, we can go to PG now. There's been the reports as well that Paul George has had injections to play through pain. That's from CBS Sports. Now, all the reporting on that says that's for a finger injury, but before that, it was knee stuff earlier in the year. There was a groin injury somewhere in there as well. Yeah, the big thing with PG for me this season, man, and I get it, the whole season has just been haywire because of injuries. I understand. But it's the fact that his free throw rate is down. He's shooting 2 free throws a game now. His rim rate is down as well. And, look, I liked the Paul George signing. I'm pretty sure the video for the signing was I love the Paul George to Philly or whatever. So it just wouldn't make sense for me to be sitting here now being like, why did they do this? But this is obviously the worst case scenario for getting Paul George at this age, right? Sometimes guys just have a more noticeable drop-off than you think they will in one season, and that's not good. Now, obviously, if he gets more shots created for him by Maxey and Embiid, then yeah, the percentages could be higher and all that, but I think it's safe to say moving forward here, PG is going to be predominantly a jump shooter, unless you think his free throw rate and his rim rate are going to go up after the season, which, hey, maybe they will. Look, man, when guys hit a certain age and trends start to show themselves, it's difficult for it to flip the other way. Now, as I say that, the one that I think of the most is Grant Hill with the Suns, where he just had so many ankle injuries, and I think it was fair to believe that his career was just going to be over pretty quick. And then at age 35, he goes to Phoenix, and he has a really good 5 years. So we'll see with PG. Anyway, what would be the most optimistic outlook? You get your surgeries, which, to be fair, I don't even know exactly if PG needs a surgery, but you do what you got to do in the offseason. Even so, both of these guys are going to miss games next year. We know that. But hopefully it doesn't go as bad as this season. Let's even say you do get your draft pick, which would mean it ended up in the top 6, which, yeah, it opens up the possibility of them trading it, but I think they would select somebody. I'm just going off of vibes there. And then you go into next season with your high pick. Let's say that guy can even help you win right now, or next season, you know what I mean. PG and Embiid are not as hurt next year. You got McCain, you got Quentin Grimes, who I'm assuming they plan on giving a new contract this offseason. You still got Maxey doing his thing, and by the way, among all of this stuff, Maxey 27-6 on 58 true shooting. At 24 years old, under contract for a long time. He's the hell of a guy to have. And I briefly mentioned McCain, but just to state it again, we all know it, the numbers he was putting up for about that 10-game stretch or so and the craftiness on the ball, really good. And then after that, if we do go into the offseason, I'm pretty sure that would open up another distant draft pick that you could trade. Now, I think it's fair to be no, just hang on to your picks because we all know in 7 years this thing's going to look very different around more so Maxey and McCain. But who knows what they'll do. It just depends on the details. They're also going to have to try to keep Yabusele, who I imagine, because this is the last year on his deal, he's going to be going for more of like an actual role player contract. So yeah, that's the gist with Philly. I don't think I got anything else. I think the next video is going to be another look at the top of the West. Actually, I'll say at the end of this, I didn't do a video on Wemby's blood clot because I just felt like I didn't have much to say other than this super sucks and hopefully Wemby is okay and we'll see him next season. So I'll just say it again, this super sucks and hopefully Wemby is okay.